You're welcome once again to our Power BI mentorship bootcamp class. I'd like to just say a few things. Number one, we will not be having Chiamaka tonight. We'll be having another person to come and take us also to come and share his own idea on how to build a creative report in Power BI. We will be having this person on two sections today and next week Saturday. And then after he has completed this section, we will then have Chiamaka back. So we have Daniel on the call. Daniel is a data analyst and a Power BI developer. If you know him very well, he has a way of building a very creative report that is very captivating, and he will be sharing that idea with us tonight. As usual, I want us to open our heart and pay full attention. And if you have any question at all, please note them down and be ready to share them when there's a call for questions and answer. So Daniel, you can take over.
Right, good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible. Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. All right, let me quickly share my screen. All right.
I can't see your screen yet. Everything is just
So,
blank.
hello.
Hello, I can't see your screen yet. Can you hear
Once
me?
it's visible, I'm with you. It's visible. Just let me know, please. I've shared it.
Okay, your screen is up now.
I've shared it. Oh. Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel. It's an opportunity to be here with you guys. This I'll be like the speaker said. I'll be with you guys for two sessions today and next week today. Also, yeah, next week Saturday. Uh, so basically, um, it's nice to be here talking more and and data visualization and storytelling in general. And the tools we'll be using Power BI for the report building, and then we'll be using the symbol. Um, and
Hello,
am I
Daniel.
speaking? I got a message that I am.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think there's something wrong with the audio. It's not clear again. We can barely clearly hear your voice. We can hear you, but the voice is not clear.
I can hear you. Yes, I can.
But your voice is not clear, so we can't
Hold
hear
on,
your
hold on.
voice.
How about now? Is it better now?
No, not yet.
How about now?
Okay, maybe okay. I think when you talk, I will be able to deduce it's a bit better, but maybe when you continue explaining, kind of, I don't know.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, it's
Is it
better now.
better? I
Yes, yes, it's better now.
have switched to it's called Mike weirdly. Yeah. Sorry. And I don't know. Okay. Okay. So can I proceed? Can I proceed?
You are breaking. Oh, you are really breaking.
Can I proceed?
Okay, proceed and let's see.
There's no network. There's no network on this thing. Can
Uh,
anyone hear me?
yes, I can hear
Can
you
anyone
now.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Is it clear?
Yes, better now.
All right. I'm really sorry. The network is it's bad this evening. Really sorry. Um, let me share my screen. So please, when you can see my screen, let me know, please.
I can see your screen now.
Okay, you can.
Yes.
All right. So like I was saying, I'm really sorry before I go interrupted by before I got interrupted by the network. Please immediately you guys can stop hearing me or if the network starts switching, just call my attention, please. All right, so we'll be talking or we'll be speaking briefly on wireframes and um, data visualization and storytelling as a whole in general when it comes to data analysis. In as much as it's not something that is the be all and end all because there are more important things you need to do before you get to this phase of your analysis. It's actually one of the most important, even though it's not the most important, if that makes sense. In the sense that, you know, stakeholders, business owners, they don't really care what you do at the back end. You understand? A lot of the people you're reporting to, they don't care and they don't even understand, even if they care to, they don't understand what goes on at the back end. So you can't just pull up with your Python codes, your SQL queries, your complex DAX measures, Excel functions, and all the lots. Looking at these analysis, they can be very, very easy to mess up. You understand? An example, let me just quickly pull up a random projects that I've worked on. I'm just open a random one. Let's see. Let's see if I can open a random one. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen
Yes.
and can. All right. So what am I saying? So because we're here, so you can see this here will have like an Excel dashboard here. And looking at this, you can easily pick out things the analyst is trying to showcase rather than just showing like you understand things like this. Do you understand? So the
Yeah.
ability for an analyst to come to convert this to this is very important because communication is what bridges, expertise and actual effects. Because the people you're working with need to understand what you're trying to communicate for them to give authority on the kind of actions to take. Because at the end of the day, we are problem solvers as data analysts, and that's what brings us down to um, dashboarding, okay, and storytelling. It's a very flashy thing. Of course, a lot of beginner level analysts want to do that. And to be fair, it's a fantastic skill to own. So, but for you to be able to create an insightful dashboard, there are things you need to take into consideration. Okay. So every dashboard you're creating or you're building, it starts from somewhere. It starts from an idea. Okay, you've done your analysis, you've come up with, okay, fine, these are the things I want to showcase to my stakeholders. Do you understand? And I don't I don't encourage people to just dive into dashboarding when they've not done proper wireframing and brainstorming because it actually saves a lot of time and it gives them guidance to what you're trying to achieve. So that's where wireframing comes in. So wireframing is basically coming up with a sketch, right? The idea of what you're trying to visualize. It could be coming up with the sizes of boxes, the layout you want to go with, the flow, the spacing, padding, and all of those things you want to implement into your dashboard. Okay, that's where wireframe comes in. Why would you want to wireframe? It basically transcends your ideologies, your ideas into a physical thing. It's like moving something from a concept into production, kind of. Before you just jump into your Excel, your Tableau, your Power BI, or whatever to start visualizing, you need to have a structure, right? Like they say, foundation is key. Do you understand? Everything you do must be based on a solid foundation. Do you get? And every foundation of every data analysis visual or dashboard foundation is a wireframe. And that's what we're talking about today. We're going to build a wireframe and we're going to build a simple dashboard on it by the next class. So I'm going to show you guys something, right? Let me quickly open up a picture right here. A minute. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. So let me show you guys what I mean by this, right? So you can see this is an example, or this is a higher level wireframe. Like this is a wireframe that I've actually, implemented, adding the colors, the paddings, playing around with the white spaces and everything, right? But even before it gets to something like this, you can see if I move over, you can see the actual final results. Do you understand? You can see how everything came together. Before we get to this level, we need to come up with this level. Before we get to this level, there's also something that you need to do. I see a lot of persons, they use pencils, they use pen and paper to sketch like a frame, a rough idea of what they're trying to do, right? I don't do that. But what I do is something in the light of something like this. Do you understand? Something like this. And this is what we'll be creating this on Power BI. So you can see here, I already have my layout done. Okay, fine, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. These are the area, these are the things I want to place on each area of my dashboard. So this is a ticket, a service ticket overview, right? Here we'll be analyzing things like performance and the performance of each source, right, of tickets. We will have calls, we'll have the chats, we'll have emails and escalation and all of that. So before you start building, you need to come up with something like this. By doing this, I don't have to second guess. Do you understand? I already know, okay, fine, this is going in here, this is going in here, this is going in here, and so on and so forth. So when I push this into my Power BI, it's just going to be smooth sailing. Okay, it's just going to be smooth sailing. So we'll be building this. I think I will make a slight alteration to it. Okay, but it's going to be something like this. Now there are a lot of tools you can build your wireframes on, right? It's not really tied down to any particular tool. Like me, I can basically use anything as long as I have the ability to play around with shapes, colors, and all of that. I can build a wireframe on anything. This was built on Excel, right? This was built on Excel. And we have the ones that are built on Figma. You can use Figma, you can use PowerPoint. You understand? You can reuse Microsoft Word, right? But the ones I would advise you to use, you can use PowerPoint and Figma. They have a little bit more room for flexibility, especially Figma. And that's what we'll be using today for this. So I hope everyone here has Figma installed on their computers. I hope everyone has it. If you haven't, please try and download it. Okay. Are there any questions before I dive into the practical aspect of it? Any questions?
None from my hand. So
All right. So before we start designing what I have in mind for you guys today, the first thing you need to do, let me quickly open up Power BI. Let me open up a blank. So when you see all those beautiful dashboards that look as though they are perfect, they started from here, right? The first thing you need to do is to get the aspect ratio you're going to work with. Are you working with a landscape kind of dashboard? Are you building a portrait? Right? That's the first thing you need to get in check, first of all. You understand? So how do you do that on Power BI? It's very simple. All you need to do is to come here and you go to canvas settings. And you can see by default, it's on 16 by 9, right? So somebody like me now, I can say, okay, fine, I'm using a wide monitor. So I can go, let's go with 1080. It can be very different. It can be different for anyone. So I'm going to go with 1080, 1080 by 1920. That's what I use for most of my dashboards. Okay, right? That's what I use for most of my dashboards. And if I come here and I put it at 100%, you can see the outline. Okay, you can see the outline of the real estate I have to build with. Of course, it's looking small, but if you do this on your laptop, if you're using a laptop, it's going to fill out the whole screen massively. But on my monitor, it's quite small because of the size of it. But it's going to be something like this, right? Make sure when you're scaling, it's at 100%. Okay, it's at 100%. Maybe if you're using a smaller display, you can scale it down to like maybe 80 or 70 max. Then you can get like a good display. But if you're using a monitor, the advice I would give you, if there is no specified um, dimension to work with, because sometimes you're working at a job, you're working for somebody, you're freelancing, I might say, please build this dashboard on so and so specifications. Okay. So first things first, remember you're serving somebody as a data analyst. So always ask for their input when you want to go with what you want to do. So if they don't mind on the size of your canvas you'll be working with, then you can just go all out and come up with something. But most cases, from my own experience, it's either 16 by 9 or the 1080 by 1920. Okay, those are the two popular resolution or size you can work with. Okay, so now that we have this in check, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go to Figma. I'll go to Figma. Um, let me close it and let me walk you guys through. So let me open the first Figma. I think it's going to take me to where I stopped. I'll just go to home. Sorry. It's taking a minute to load due to slow network speeds. All right, let's give it a couple of more minutes for it to load. Okay, it's slow. All right, so if you're opening Figma fresh, of course, you have to create an account. You link your email and everything. So you'll be left with, or you will be greeted with this. This is what you'll be greeted with. Do you understand? What is Figma? Figma is a tool, a graphics design tools that is used by mainly UI and UX designers, product designers, right? You can do a lot of things like prototyping, things like mockups, design, and whatnot. Okay. As a data analyst, in as much as you're a scientist, where you need to learn statistics, you need to learn programming languages, you need to learn data architecture and pipeline building and everything, machine learning and all sorts. You're also an artist at the same time. Okay. That's just the beauty of the field. So when you're done cracking your brain, when you're done um, punching your head and to come up with good insights, you have the ability to flex your creativity, right? That is where the data visualization comes in. So we'll be using tools that people that usually are not in our field, i.e., UI UX or product design, use, which is Figma. Okay, this is what I use most of the time. But all of the things I'll be doing here, you can easily use something like PowerPoint if you don't have access to this. Okay, so you'll be greeted with something like this when you've signed in. I already have my this thing open. Okay, so I don't need to create new ones. So I can just click on any of them. Just click on any of them. So I'll click on. I think this was where I was. Yeah, this was where I was. So you have like a great space. You can see all my designs, at least on this page. You can see them there. So it's something that I use a lot. And you can see that I've created this before. You can see that I've created this before as well. Okay. But we're going to create this again. You understand? We're going to create this again and we'll probably make it slightly different or better. So let me quickly move this thing. Let's go to a space that is kind of empty. I'll be using this as inspiration. Let me just shrink it. Control Z. Sorry. Let me shrink it there. Let's zoom out a bit. Hope I'm still audible. I hope everyone can see my screen because I'm very scared of the whole network thing.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So we already have an idea. And what is our idea? This is what I'll be sharing the data sets and the DAX measures we'll be using to turn this thing into. It's going to be a very simple but highly effective dashboard reports. So what do we have in mind? This is what we have in mind. Okay, let me quickly open that up. Um, this is what we have in mind. We want to analyze. We have the company receives tickets. What are tickets? Like for example, you're working in customer care, and whenever a customer calls, you understand. Whenever a customer calls to lay complaints, that's a ticket. You understand. So we want to analyze and want to showcase to our stakeholder things like the performance. of each of the sources in which our the ticket comes in. So do people use phone calls, do people use email, or do they chat up our customer service rep to reach for help? We'll be covering that. We'll be analyzing things like which of the responses, or on average, like things like SLA. You understand? We're analyzing SLA. We're analyzing things like response time. We're analyzing things like you know the topics, what categories of complaints. Do you understand? And so on and so forth. So those are the things we'll be putting on this one page right here. You understand? It's going to be very insightful when we are done with this. So I decided to go a different route. I could have gone with a single page, but what I decided to do, or what we'll be doing, because I'm sharing my own thought process, I want our stakeholder to look at the dashboard and immediately know performance of all the sources this complaint coming. That's why I split it into 3 panes. We'll have the calls, we'll have the chats, we'll have the emails, and we'll have the escalation as well. You understand? So that is the whole ideology behind this. So let's jump right in. So the first thing you're going to do when you're working on Figma is to first of all create a frame, right? All you need to do is just to press F, right, on your keyboard, and you can create a frame. Let's call this wireframe. Let's call this wireframe. Now that we are done with this, the next thing I'm going to do is to change the dimensions. Remember, our height was 1080, right? And then our width was 1920, right? You can see that we have our background here. Okay, we'll have our background here. I opened up a different, hold on. I opened up a different, I mean, I opened up something different I want to explore with, to switch it up a bit. Okay, so we have this right here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to change the color of our background. What's the background color? The background color is this gray right here. This is the color code FOFOFO. Okay, a lot of ways you can do this, right? And come here, Control V, change the field, or I can use something called a color picker. Let's click on this, and if I have a picture of the color I'm looking to pick, I can just click on. For example, if I came here and I do something like this, I see that the color has changed. So you can use this, or if you have the color code, you can just impute it there. So we'll have the color of our frame. That's the first thing we're going to do. And let's try and see if we can make the edges curvy. Let's change this to 10. Is 10 curvy enough? No. You can see the corner radius right there to your right. Let's change. Let me see the radius I use here because of time. I don't want to second guess. Okay. We can leave it as is for now. Can leave it as it is for now. Okay, I think. Sorry, that was a mistake on my end. Let me undo. I'm going to leave this as white. Okay, I'm going to leave this as white. You can see right here. So the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to need 2 shapes, right? We need 2 shapes. I'll come here. You'll see a square there, right? At the bottom. All you need to do is just click on this, and we've created like a shape. Yeah. Okay. We've created like a shape. We'll be needing 2 shapes here. So I will change this to that color I had before, which is this FOFOFO, right? That's the color I'm changing it. This is like a whiter gray. You understand? This is like a lighter gray. But because this is a white background or a white canvas, I can just use a different color. Okay, fine. Let's just use a random color. The reason why I'm using this color so that I can actually see the complete size. Do you understand? I could see the size of the canvas I'm working with. When we are done, we'll switch it back to white. Now, the beauty here is, if you look closely, all the wireframes I built, there is like a thick padding. Are you seeing it? There's a thick padding around them. Let me show you a couple of more examples. See, it's always a padding. Even if I were to zoom in here, look at the shape. You can see the padding. So it's something I do. It just gives the dashboard a little bit of room to breathe, and it comes out really nice. You understand? It comes out really nice, and I would implore you to do the same when building. Please try and play with white spaces when you're creating your wireframe. You see, white spaces, adequate spacing, and having this extra room to breathe is what differentiates a well-constructed dashboard from the one that just looks compressed and off to look at. Basically, I'm just using that word. Okay. All right. So we'll be scaling this. We'll be scaling this right here. Because of time, I don't want to do try and error. I will just get the size of what I used here. So I used 1920. Okay. I used 1920 by 1095. Okay, let me change this. This is 19. That's the width by 10 and 95. All right, let's drag this in. I think you covered the whole thing. All right. I think we did cover the whole thing. 1920 by 1095. So you can see our own border here. You can see the little space there. So that's what we'll be using. Okay. Now, just increase it. All right. So the next thing I'll be doing here is this. Okay. Please, when you're creating yours, you can go with any color you want. Okay. You can go with any color you want. It's fine. Feel free to explore. Okay. I'm going to quickly duplicate this. Control C, Control V. Okay. I've duplicated this. You can see right there. And I can use any color of my choice. I think I used this. That was the color I used. Or you can spice it up. Okay. That color is too shouty. You can spice it up with any color you want to use. But I think I use this. I think I use this. And then let me get the size as well. I did 1920 by 318. All right, let me change this to 318. I'm getting an error. I'm getting a message that my network is distorting. Hope everyone can hear me.
It's stable from my hand.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. How about
Yes, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Very stable, yeah.
all right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are done. We are done with this. I think I will just have to use the exact shape there, 10,0, 10,095. So that's what I'll do. There's a reason why. Control Z. Okay. It's not, you can see here, our, it's outside our, what's it called? Our frame. So I can just drag this and put it inside. All right. So this will be 10,094, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was what I had on there. It turns 095. 095. Cool. The next thing we'll be doing right here. Let me change this back to white. Don't need this anymore. I already have what I want to work with. So the next thing we'll be doing here is you can see that it is straight, right? It's straight. So we're going to make this curvy. But what we're doing, we're only going to curve this parts. The top parts here will be curvy, and the bottom parts of the shape will be curvy. I want to leave this one straight. So how do we do that? Let me quickly get the dimension I used. I used a 14. Let me also check for this. 14 as well. All right, cool. So how do we do this? So I'm going to highlight this, and I will come to the corner radius, right? You'll be left with this, right? So for you to actually select the ones you want to do, you'll see this thing here at the right-hand side. You click on it, and then you have the four corners. I can come here and I can go 18. I'll come here and I will go 18. You can see that it is curved. Can you see? But this bottom is flat. We're going to do the same thing here as well. 18. 18. And just like that, you can see we are we are getting there. It's looking good. Okay. So the next thing I will need right here is we need four rectangles here. All right. I can just come here and I can click on this. Okay. And let me see if I can find it. It's still outside. Why are they creating it outside? I'll bring this to the top layer because I want this to be an overlay. Do you understand? So now if it was, let's say underneath, you can see that it is behind. So when you want something that wants to be an overlay, you can always come to the layers. You can select what you want, bring it up to the top of the layer. Or we'll be using white for this. We will be using white for this, okay? All right. So again, because of time, I don't want to eyeball the dimensions. It can take a bit of time, but I can quickly grab them here. Okay, I can quickly grab them here, the dimensions. So let me see. Let me just grab one. Okay, that was 427 by 870. Okay, so we'll go 427 by 870. Okay, so we'll have something like this. We'll have something like this. And I will, the next thing I did as well was we can also make all corners. Let's try 10 because we're using a curvy fill. Okay, that's not enough. Let's try the 18 we used. That might be too curvy. Let's try 15. Okay, I think this is good. Then we can go ahead and we can add an effect. Maybe we can use in the effects, we can use a drop shadow, right? Can use a drop shadow. So it gives it this, you can see this now makes it pop. Can you see? It gives you the ability for it to look as though it is levitating on top the other layer underneath. But that shadow is that it's actually dark, right? It's actually dark. We don't want that. First things first, I'm going to turn off this stroke. I'll take down to 0 degrees. We don't want any stroke around it. And you can tinker with the shadow, right? You can use whatever color you want. It's already on 25%, so that I think that works perfectly. If it's too much, you can bring it down. If it's not enough, you can take it up, okay? And you can also adjust the positions as well. But I think it looks good, right? I think it looks good. So what do? I'll go Control C, Control V, V. How many do we have? Okay, I did too much. So we'll have four. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, cool. So I'll take the first one to where I want it to start, right? I'll take the last one to where I want it to stop. Do you understand? To where I want it to stop. Okay. We can bring the rest down for once. And I'll highlight all four using shifts, holding down shifts. I can highlight all four. I would say align. So I'm going to align to the top. Are you seeing it? And then we're going to distribute. So if I align to the top, we're going to distribute vertically. You click on this and you say distribute horizontally. Are you seeing it? And just like that, you can see that everything is perfectly aligned. Are we together? You guys have any questions? Any questions?
No question from my end.
All right. Can I carry on? Can I carry on?
Yes, you can.
All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. So at this point, let me see. Let me see if I'm going to increase the size of my wireframe. At this point, if I push this thing, let me show you guys something. So if I come here and I export, how many minutes do I have? Let's see, 16 minutes. Okay, that should be enough. So if I export this thing, let me just push this to my download real quick. So if I export this thing and I come to Power BI, right? And I go to Canva background and I click on browse and I pull this in. I take the transparency to 0. Okay, hold on. Looks good. Let's see. Okay, let me quickly open up that image. Oh, it's a wow. Hold on. I think I know where the mistake is from. This is our wireframe right here. You understand? I'm going to mark all of this. Right? Okay. And let me see. Okay. Okay, that's our frame. That's our frame right there. Okay, let's see. Let us bring this to the bottom for now. Let us bring this to the bottom. This is our frame. Let me quickly frame. Let me save this frame 8. That's what gonna put me up. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
The network is shaking.
I think it's
I
stable
can hear
from my
you.
end.
I can hear you. Hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah,
Hello?
we can.
I can hear you. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
I can
We
hear
can
you
hear
Yes, we
you.
too.
can hear you.
Okay, is my screen visible? Yes, we can see your
Yeah.
screen. Is my screen visible? Yes. All right. Okay. So let me quickly take that out. This frame here. Okay, so this is our frame. This is our frame right here. Now, because there was no padding, right? Because there was no padding, let me export this and let me show you what it looks like. Let me show you what it looks like. I've exported it. If I come to Power BI and let's add the new image there. I see how it's looking like. Can you see? Of course,
Yeah.
it's elapsed it perfectly fine, but there's no like room. Do you understand? Am I audible?
Yes. You are. You are.
All right. So you can see here that there's no room. It's covering the whole thing. Okay. So just like I did before, I'm using a bigger monitor. So please keep that in mind. I'm going to just increase. I'm going to use the dimensions I used here. What was my dimension? Dimension was 2000 by 1220. I'm going to increase this to 2000 by 1220. Okay. So I'm going to quickly highlight everything and I'll try to move it somewhere in the middle. Thank God for um the way this was structured. You can actually use grid lines to know the middle, where it begins and where it ended. All right. So we'll have something like this right here. But we are not done. We're going to also come here and I will duplicate this, right? I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to shrink this down, right? I'm going to shrink this down. I'm going to take it to that top right there. You understand? I'm going to take it to that top and we can use our respective colors there. So we'll have this. Let's bring it to the top. Control CV, Control Z. Hold on. Let me try and select what I am. Okay, that's it. Oh, sorry. Let me cancel that. How many of that do we have? Control Z. All right. What is wrong with this thing? Z, Z, Z. Hold on. Let me bring to front. Okay, let me bring to front. So I'll come here and I'll say bring to front. Okay, that is weird. That is weird. Hold on. I'm going to quickly delete that. I don't know why I can't. I really don't know why I can't click on it. Let's just hide it. Okay, let's just hide it for now. Okay, all right, cool. I'll just add a new shape just to avoid unnecessary. I'll add a new shape. Okay, shrink this down a little bit, and I'll quickly grab this color. So what I did here, right? Of course, I grouped it, but you can see what I did here. So I did kind of like double, but we will not be doing that. We'll be doing something slightly different. So I'll quickly come to this place and I will grab that color picker, and I'll pick this. Remember, you're within your rights to do whatever you want to do, whatever color you want to do, you can do that. And I'm going to change this to maybe like if a 10. Maybe we'll go like a 10, right? We'll go like a 10 for each side, and we can shrink it a little bit, and we'll have something like this right here. You understand? And I Control C, Control V, duplicates, Control V, duplicates, Control V, duplicates. All right, so we can just change the colors real quick. So this will be this green. This will be that red. And this will be maybe the yellow. You understand? Maybe I might end up changing these colors. I don't know, but the processes are still the same. Okay. And finally, how many minutes do I have? 5 minutes. Okay. Then finally, the next thing we'll have here, of course, if you want to add your tag, you can add your tag down there if you want. Because people tend to copy, like steal people's work and to take credit for them. So in order to protect yourself when you're pushing it out, you let people know that, okay, fine, this was me, this was my work. Okay, so you can do that if you want to. So the next thing we'll be needing here, we'll be needing icons. Okay, you can go to any website of your choice, or you can actually have a plugin, right? I myself, I have the plugin installed, Icon 8, right here. So all I need to do is just click on it. That's all I need to do, to just click on it. It should pop up any moment from now. But if you don't have the plugin installed, you can go online and get the icons you want to use. But the beauty about Figma is you can integrate a lot of popular websites and APIs into it to take advantage of their functionalities. So while that is loading, I'll be I'll be creating 3 circles. Okay, I'll be creating three circles. I'll be creating 3 circles, and I'll tell you why. So for this radius, I'll take this radius to, let's say 50 or 4, and then the width will be 20, 20. Here's it. Okay, there it is. Right, there it is. Probably change this to 35. The dimension should also be 35 as well. I don't know if that's big enough. Let's try 40. 40. 40. Yeah, I think that's good. For the drop shadow, we want to turn it off. We don't want that anymore. And you can use just a slightly darker shade of white. Okay. We'll be creating 3 of this. And I'll tell you what we'll be using it for when we get to the next class. Duplicate. Duplicate. Okay. Make sure you align it to, are you seeing it? Make sure everything is aligned. Okay, so right here we need, so what's the first thing we need? We need calls. So I can just come here and I can search for calls, right? I can search for calls. There's nothing there for calls. Let's try phone. You can see we have phone there. So what can I do? I can just quickly pick up anyone. I think I like the one that is facing this way. I can pick that up real quick. So you can see it there. So I can, let's shrink this down to like 30. 30 looks small. 30 looks small. Let's try 40. You need to make sure the scaling is perfect. Make sure it's not too big. Make sure it's not too small. That will come in the overall look and feel. So the next thing we need here is we need charts. I'll just type in charts. Okay, we'll have charts right there. And I can click on anyone. Hope you all can hear. All right, so we'll have our chart right here. And we use the exact same dimension we use for here, which is 40, to maintain symmetry. So this will be 40. This will be 40 as well. Drag, make sure everything is properly aligned. Number 3, please, I'll need extra 5 minutes. I'm very sorry. Number 3 will be email. Will be email. So you can pick up anything there. I like this one. So have that Control Z. Sorry. Let's put this in. And let's just add the last one. Let's just go alerts. I'll use alerts or escalates. Let's use alerts. Will get us that symbol I'm looking for. Yeah, it does. So you can just click on this. Okay. So I'm done with this. I'll come right here and I'll click on this. I'll click on this. I will change this to 40 and 40. All right. Quickly drag. make sure they fit perfectly. Okay, make sure it fits perfectly. So the final thing we'll be adding here is a text box. You can see it right there, right? We can add a text box right here. That's what we'll be wrapping up this with. Okay, here's my text box. It disappeared. Let me just type something random in there. I'll come back to it. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Control C, Control V. Expand it, and then Control C, Control V. I'll have align the whole thing, and we can change this to like 15. Too small, maybe 20. All right. So we'll have this right here. Okay, cool. Again, if you're feeling funky, you can play around with the letter spacing. So I can go space it by 40%. You understand? Space by 40 and reduce the height, the size by 10. Or maybe 35. That's what I want. It's down to personal preference. We'll have something like this, if that's what you want. Okay, I'm just going to keep it as it was. I think that looks good in my eyes. So we'll have something like this. Then the final thing, as you can see, we'll be adding is just a random logo right here to identify what we're trying to do. I can quickly call on the Iconate extension I have there. And let's try customer service. Customer service. Okay, we can pick something decent. Let's just go with this. Or we could go with this. This one too isn't bad. Let's go with this, something simple. Okay, we'll go with something simple. You can pull this in a little bit. Make sure everything is aligned, please. If I take this in, you can see that it is aligned to the outer shape and the size works perfectly. So this is what our wireframe will be looking like. So what's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to quickly save by coming down here to export. Remember, when you're exporting, click on the actual frame, not on any shape. Click on the frame, okay? Click on the frame. All right. I'm going to export, and I'm going to, of course, I will override it. And now, open up Power BI. This is what we had before. This is what we had before. I'm going to quickly change the canvas size, 2000, if I'm not mistaken. 2000 for, sorry, Control Z. I think the width is 2000. Okay, 2000. And then, what was the height? I'll quickly confirm. The height was 1220. 1220. All right, so what do I do? It's already looking better. I'll come here. I'll go to Canva background. Take this out, and we can put in our new wireframe. And you can see just this extra spacing alone. Are you seeing it? It's just giving it a little bit more room to breathe. Between this and the initial one, which is better? The one without any space around the edges and this with the padding. Which is better? Which is better, class?
A second.
Exactly. So immediately, if I just put in any, you can say, this is what our wireframe will be looking like. Okay. Don't worry, I'm going to write all the dark measures we'll be needing. I'll probably tweak these colors. I'll tweak them because I'm not feeling the vibe. If I'm being honest, I'm not feeling the vibe. But I'll tweak the colors. Okay. And you guys will see it then. So all you need to do when you're building yours, you can play around. A good way to get color combos, you can go to somewhere like, if I open up my browser, right? I use Coolers. You can go to Coolers. I use Coolers, coolers.co, right? You can get different color templates. But please, whatever templates you're using, make sure it is not just purely aesthetics, rather it is kind of implementing or amplifying the story you're trying to tell. So you can see all the color combos, palettes you can play with right there. You go with something that works. But remember, this escalation, maintain this amberish color, okay? Or if you can go red or burgundy or something, because this signifies urgency, all right? When we meet in the next class, we'll be utilizing these three holes. One will be for alerts, which will hold our insights. So we're going to do kind of like a bookmark that once you click on that bell, it's going to expand and you can see more information. And then the other ones probably one will link to your socials profile, and the other one will be any added information. Okay. So that will be all for today. Thank you guys very much. I hope you guys picked up something into this class. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that section. Thank you for opening our eyes to see how we can use the Figma to design a wireframe. Really, we are grateful for your availability to take the session. I don't know if anyone has a question. If you have any question, can you please just raise your hand before we wrap up? Do you have any question? Okay.
Mr. Daniel.
All right.
Sorry. Okay, just a quick one. I want to confirm the process of taking that mock-up, or should I call it wireframe, from Figma to Power BI. You just copied and then you pasted on the Power BI, right?
No, I didn't copy and paste, right? Oh, you can hear me. When you're done designing,
Yes,
right?
I can.
When you're done designing,
Yeah.
I wish there was time. I had to go with something very simple. I would have done some really amazing designs, but no time. When you're done,
Okay.
right? Whenever you're done with your mock-up, your wireframe, whatever, just click on the name of your frame. Are you seeing it? Once you click on, you can convert this to whatever, but we just want it to be as a PNG. You will see exports,
All right.
right? You will see exports at the bottom
Okay.
right. You can export it in PNG, JPEG, SVG, PDF, or we'll be using PNG. PNG works perfectly fine. Okay, we're using PNG. Just export, click on that. It's going to save it on your computer, right? You just save it on your computer.
Right.
When you're done saving it, then you can come to your Power BI, and on your main page, your report page, you come here and you go to Canvas background, and you can see the ability to add an image as a canvas background. Immediately you click on that in browse, it will show you browse. You click on that browse, you identify what you're trying to do, and you click open. And just like that, you have your wireframe perfectly fitted into Power BI. Now, another thing as to why it is good to build a wireframe outside is because this is loading. Power BI is now loading this whole thing as a picture. I think you built it in Power BI, unless you want to toggle between light light mode and dark mode, I don't recommend building anything on Power BI, because when it comes to performance issues, this will be loading, this will be loading, this will be loading. All of these individual elements will be loading on Power BI. You understand? If we built it here, but because it is a picture, it is just loading everything as a very small image, hence improving the speed of your reports. I hope that answers your question.
All right. Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
All right. All right.
Any other person? Okay. If there is none, that means you are done for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Please and please let me say this to us. Our next class will be next week Saturday. Next class is next week Saturday. So by 8 o'clock p.m. Let's have it in mind. Let's plan our schedule ahead so that we won't start giving excuses that we are not aware. It's 8 o'clock next week. And also, please note that we will also have a section on that Sunday. Remember that I said that we'll be closing up or rounding up this boot camp this month, August. So we are trying as much as possible to maximize all the time available for us. So let's get our mind prepared on Saturday, and also let's get our mind prepared for Sunday as well. All right. I think we can just go back to what has been done tonight, and then also prepare ourselves for the next class. So let's have a good night rest and also a productive week ahead. Good night, everyone.